and depending on who you listen to, only 5 to 30% of businesses make over six figures. So the businesses that do succeed, the vast majority of them are small, probably one person, sole proprietorships, one man bands, making less than six figures. Okay, because entrepreneurship is no joke. Um, and I can tell you that attempting to start a blue ocean business is only going to make that harder on you. Okay. And I'm speaking to, if you already have a business, I'm still speaking to you. If you're already successful, that still applies because a blue ocean business is an untested market. That's why there's no competition because the market doesn't exist. You have to uh, create that market. That's really what it is. And for every Facebook that creates a new market, there are a million failures. Um, I'd love to be able to invent the next Uber. The second I heard about that, I thought that's brilliant. That's going to put taxis out of business. The same thing with Airbnb. Brilliant. Going to put, it won't put hotels out of business probably, but it's significantly cutting into them as competition. But the odds of me inventing an Uber would be the same odds of me being a movie star, which also I would like. But again, to be telling people to pursue that, something that is so low probability, I feel like that is not the best move. I want to be able to give the vast majority of you guys that listen to this the highest probability chances to earn that six to hopefully seven figure income. Okay. Your and I spent a lot of money and time trying to reinvent the wheel on my tech startup. Okay. And I'll tell you, we didn't make a dime off that. The vast majority of businesses in our accelerator didn't make any money. There was one buyout, and it was basically a $500,000 aqua hire to get the developer. That's an acquire hire. They all got paid out 500 grand for 3 years work. That's 500 grand pre-tax. And the developer basically got a job out of it. They really wanted some of the code and they wanted the developer, but there were no success stories. I don't think that accelerator exists anymore. Now, that's in Canada. I mean, Y Combinator has a ton of successes, but that is already recruiting the cream of the crop of the best potential startups in the world, um, and working from there. But for most guys, you're going to spend a fortune in time and money reinventing the wheel. I also spend a fortune, time, and money on trying to develop dumb product businesses that weren't quite reinventing the wheel, but it was like businesses that I would have, no place. I should have had no place in because I didn't know what I was doing 10 years ago. Okay. So your best bet at a successful business that has a potential to six to seven figures is a service business in a proven market. That's my opinion. Okay. And you can check out my article on 31 six-figure service businesses or the video on YouTube. And you can get six figures out of the vast majority of online businesses and seven figures out of some if you scale and team build. Like it would be pretty hard to get more than six figures out of a copywriting business because it's so time intensive. And even getting to six figures is going to be a lot of your time. It's a lot of grunt work. To get to seven figures, you'd need to scale into a staff and a team and payroll and all those things. But when it comes to just pure highest probability of seven figures, the big three are real estate, insurance, and financial services. Now, I think financial services is kind of grimy because putting people into stocks, I think, if you check out my video and article on why the stock market won't make you rich, like most people don't have any business being into these instruments that these financial advisors, just sales guys, are putting them into. Not all. I mean, some are selling index funds or they're selling, some type of retirement planning that's somewhat ethical or ethical. I don't want to throw everyone on the bus. I just think that a lot of that industry has some grimy stuff in it. But regardless, those are the big three in terms of making seven figures. Now, you're probably going to have to work a sales job for somebody who's already established in one of those industries to learn the ropes, to be able to train on their dime, to be able to learn to sell if you don't know how to sell, because that's the biggest skill. Okay, it's not a blue ocean business It's learning how to get really good at sales. Because even if you have an online service business and your leads come to you through the internet, most of the time you're gonna have to close those people on the phone. Okay, and you're gonna have to know how to sell regardless. So that's the key ingredient. I've got a book, How to Sell. You can check it out, revolutionarylifestyledesign.com/products. The best training was, the same training that I went through, which is getting a sales job. Ideally, you do it much smarter than I did in an industry that you want to be in anyways, like real estate. One of my young readers got a real estate job at 18, I think. He was the youngest agent in his state. And he's going to be well positioned to either sell real estate on his own or really do whatever he wants. I think for a lot of guys, that's a much better move than university. By the time your friends are getting out of school in a ton of debt and having partied their way through it, you've had 4 years of sales experience, you have no debt, you have income, you have sales skills. After 4 years in like an outbound sales job, even if you hate that industry, real estate or whatever, you can go and build any service business up to 6 figures for sure. When you can sell, you've got probably one of the most marketable skills in the world. Okay. And even in some of the sales jobs, you're going to be, you can be making more than most entrepreneurs. Like my friends back home, all make more than 6 figures in sales. Guys making 250K is pretty standard once you've been at a company for a while and you've moved up, you've acquired books as people got fired, or you maybe moved into management. Now, look, I wouldn't want to spend my life in sales, definitely not. Management is definitely easier than being on the floor, and I'm thankful every day that I don't have a sales job anymore. But I'm saying from a financial perspective, like a good salesman is going to make more than like 90% of entrepreneurs, because he's already in a vehicle that's successful and has a proven strategy, but much more effective in terms of beating the failure rate for entrepreneurship is a service business, especially if it's your first business.